Okay. Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. It's so good to be here. We're going to be starting next week, hopefully, with the Facebook Live video. BRI wants to do that, so we're working on getting that done. Have some equipment over here or something. We'll figure it out. Be'ez Hashem. And we'll have other people joining us from other parts of Israel and wherever they are.
Nice.
All right, so Be'ez Hashem. Okay, so today is a very special day because today is Rabeinu Tam's yahrzeit. Just a little bit about Rabeinu Tam. Rabeinu Tam lived in the year 1100, right? 1100. He lived till 1171.
Oh, really? Okay, so Rashi was yesterday. Yeah, we said 1,000, right? Okay.
It was actually 1100.
Okay.
No, you were pretty good. It was a good.
I was saying I said 1,500.
No, it was a good estimation. No.
Okay.
No, so we're over 1,000. It's over 1,000 years.
Yeah.
It's not. It wasn't 1,500, but it's okay. It was in the medieval times. Now, Rabeinu Tam, he was called Rabeinu Tam because although he was the Torah giant of his time, but he lived his life with such a simplicity that he learned from his grandfather Rashi. Of course, Rashi lived the most simple life, and he was the greatest of the great. Rabeinu Tam, he was one of the Balei Tosfos, right? He was one of those that wrote the Tosfos in the Gemara, the commentaries in the Gemara that pretty much the Tosfos goes against Rashi, right? Always arguing against Rashi and then arguing against. Okay. That's the beauty of the thing. Like we said, we learned in our lessons that when the tzaddikim are arguing, it's only to help us to wake up the mind, the thunder in the mind, in order to straighten out, to send the drops down, in order to straighten out the heart. Right? Just remember that. Okay. Now, what he also did was he also worked to support a yeshiva where there were 80 Balei Tosfos, right? His colleagues, and he supported the yeshiva. It's unbelievable what he did. Unbelievable. It's a single person, that's a simple person. But what he accomplished was mind-boggling. And the most famous thing that he's known for is for his tefillin. The difference of the ksav, the difference of the switching of the parshas. That's it. The two parshas. You have Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, right? And we have a Hafta Es Hashem Elokecha. Then we have a Haya Im Shemaya Tishmo Mitzvaysa, right? We say this every day, right? So we do it in Rashi. It's Shema, and then V'Haya Im Shemaya Tishmo, like we read every day, like we read it in our siddur. Rabeinu Tam said, no, we're going to switch it around. We're going to put V'Haya Im Shemaya Tishmo Mitzvaysa, and then when we finish that, we're going to do Shema Yisrael. Okay, we're going to do Shema Yisrael. That is the only difference. That is the only difference. And then, what actually is that the way you can tell if you're wearing a Rabeinu Tam Tefillin or a Rashi Tefillin is on the head Tefillin, the little hairs that stick out. The antennas, like we call, right? So they're in the center on Rabeinu Tam. By Rashi, they're over one. There are 4 boxes, right? There are 4 boxes, right? There are 4 compartments. So the Rabeinu Tam, it's right in the center. It's going to be right in the center. But on the Rashi tefillin, it's going to be one over. Why? Because it goes where the V'Haya Im Shemaya is. So that's why. So there you'll always be able to tell. Like for example, if you had when you guys are going to get your Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, Mitzvah Hashem, it's Chadesh, okay. And when if you ever had them both on the table, you got mixed up. Whatever, you had to run to the bathroom, so you'll be able to look at the thing and I know this was my Rabeinu Tam Tefillin. Yeah. I mean, years ago when I bought my box, when I went to buy them, I made sure to get my Rabeinu Tam Tefillin also a little bit different size, a little bit smaller. The box is just a little bit smaller than my Rashi Tefillin, So I have a shinui, the change, so I would never mix them up. Because on the yad, you won't see that.
Exactly.
Only on the rosh you could see, but on the yad you can't see. There is no difference.
Are you allowed to mark on the
Wait.
bottom?
No.
You can't mark it on it at all.
We don't want to make any changes on them.
So there's no way to tell the yad one from the other.
Right, so that's what I'm telling you. So so I'm giving you an idea. This because I was thinking about it years and years ago when I bought my tefillin. How would I know the difference? So I just said, when I this box is a little bit small. They're just very different, very small difference, but you could definitely tell that this is this one and that one.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then I got a different color bag for the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin and the Rashi. So this is a different color, so I wouldn't mix it. Yeah. There are different things you can do.
Well, it's important because if you mix them up,
Well, you don't want to mix them up because, again, the bracha always has to be on the Rashi Tefillin. That's the way we do it. We do it. That's how the world does it. That's what we do. Okay? So that was just a little idea of the thing. Now I also brought in, if you just want to see, so here I brought in the parshas. This is what they actually look like of my tefillin, and I got this. The fella that did it for me in Yerushalayim. Right? So he made me a thing, and he checked it. And he checked the parshas, and he wrote me that I have a good report. He says, "Kosher v'yafa mahuda me'oiv." Okay, well, he liked it. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. All right, so that was. I just wanted to show you this thing. Okay.
cool.
This is both of them?
What?
This
No, that's the Rashi tefillin.
This is just the Rashi.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the one that goes in the Sharosh.
Yeah, that's the one that goes in the yad. That's the long one. That's the long one. Yes, I just wanted to bring it so you could see how they actually look. Okay? So let's learn now. Okay, let's learn now. It's a pleasure. It's a mamash a pleasure. Yeah, it's a mamash a pleasure. Yeah. Okay, so we're in Likutey Halachos in Hilchos Tefillin Halacha. Hey, we're up to date to the letter Chaf Tes 29. It's wonderful, and again we're gonna be discussing the importance of Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, and what a beautiful thing to learn it on Rabeinu Tam's yahrzeit. It's such a beautiful thing. Anyway, let's see. The Rebbe says today. The Rebbe's writing this again. Remember, the Rebbe's writing this now over 200 years ago, right? Noson's writing this about 200 years ago from now. And he was saying then it was the Ikvisa the Mashiach. It was at the end of time. It was at the heel. Ikvisa means Ikva is the heel. So it was at the heel. It's in other words, in the spiritual makeup is the head, and you have the torso, and you have the legs, and then the bottom means you're at the end is the heel, right? Ikvis of the Mashiach. That's where it's known as why we call it Ikvis of the Mashiach. B'soif HaGolus. It's the end of the Golus. You hear this? It's at the end of our Golus. But look where we are today. We're over 200 years later, right?
We're minus.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Okay, tzrichin lizor me'oid la'aniach tefillin Rabeinu Tam. Make sure. Oh, you're gonna need this. You're gonna need these Rabeinu Tam Tefillin in order to be successful. K'moshe is hiru kol tzadikim amitim shahayu b'yameinu. As all the great tzaddikim, they would constantly talk about it, and we're talking about Rav Pinchas Karitzer, the Morenayim. These were the tzaddikim of the time. They were all very, very strong and very, very. They said that you have to put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin. Baruch Hashem. Anyway. So now we're learning the beauty of it. Like we started speaking about this yesterday, At the end of time now, the Baldava, the Yetzer Hara, he doesn't have any more shame. No shame. He just does anything he can. He's just trying to prolong his life, his demise. He's trying to prolong it because he knows any day now, if he's not clever enough and he's not crazy enough, his end will be. And therefore he's throwing out all the punches. He doesn't care, as we see in the world. As we see two people are fighting, right? We spoke about this a little bit, right? If one sees that the other one is overpowering him, right? Two people are fighting, and he sees his friend not his friend, his adversary here, right? is overtaking him, so he gets an adrenaline boost, right? He gets something to boost, and you just try to give him back because you don't want to get right. This is what the Yetzer Hara, this is what's going on. He gives it his all with all. He gives everything. He gives his all in order to be able to do that. There's no such a thing as a strong, mighty person if he gives up. Mighty people don't give up. They're only a mighty person if they don't give up. Correct? If you give up, then what's that? Okay. We know that the galus is the same idea as the pregnancy. We know when we were in Egypt, it was like we were in the womb. We were in the womb and we were being built. We were being processed. And then we were birthed at the end. At the end, when we went out of Egypt, that was like the giving birth. We became the nation as we left Egypt. Okay, so too, we know that everything is always compared to leaving Egypt, right? All the gullah, every time we're going to leave this gullus that we're in. Hopefully, it'll be very soon, perhaps today. Mitzvah Hashem. So that is considered an Eber. It's the same thing. So we're in the gestation period, right? That's how it is right now. We're being rebuilt. That's unbelievable. And when you go out of the gullus, when you leave the exile, that's like being birthed, right? W, you like that idea? That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Like we said a moment ago, like when we went out of Egypt, we were compared that we were birthed. And that was what it says, that like the day that you were given birth to when he went out of Mitzrayim. And therefore, at the end of the geula that we're waiting for now, we're waiting for the exit, the redemption right now. This final redemption that we're waiting for. Ksiv. Ki chola gam yolda tzion espaneha. Then what is that? And in one day, the Jewish people can be birthed to become Am Yisrael. The same way we became a new people. We became a new people when we left Egypt, but unfortunately we made a mistake, right? We made a mistake with the golden calf, right? And then we made the mistake with the spies, and we made all of our mistakes. But now that we made all those mistakes, now we're being rebirthed again to become perfect this time, because now we know all the things we did wrong. So this gullus is going to be this gullus is our final gullus. When Mashiach comes, that's the final tikkun. No, there won't be any mistakes after that. There won't be any more mistakes. Fascinating. And we gave the example, we learned the example also with Misa, right? When a person passes away and they go in the ground, right? And they get rebuilt, right? For Tchias HaMesim, that's the rebirthing again. They'll be re-resurrected again without the impurity of the snake. See, the problem is, right now, we still have the impurity that the snake infused into Chava. Remember we said that?
Yeah.
And then that's the negative tendencies that we have is because of that, because of the snake that he was able to do that. But we said when a person passes away and they're in the ground, so that all of that filth gets removed, and then they can be rebuilt to be a new person. So too the people that are alive will be new when Mashiach comes, will be rebirthed again. That's why Rav Nosson keeps teaching us this idea that we're new people. So we're going to mamish be new. We're really going to feel it. We're really going to feel it as when mamish are new people. We're a new people at that time when Mashiach is going to come, that we won't have that impurity that we had from us before. Am I going to put you on the birth stool and you're not going to give birth? Yes. Hashem says, am I going to put you on that birth stool, right? The mother on the birth stool, you're not going to give birth? That's what Hashem says. Don't worry, you're going through all the troubles and all the trials and all these all these things. But don't worry. There's going to be a Yeshua. It's going to work. Baal came to Seif HaGolus, and therefore at the end of the Golus, at the end of the exile, Mizgabra HaGolus b'Yosef, the Golus gets very, very strong. The Golus gets very, very powerful. Because again, it's that time, it's like giving birth, right? When the mother's going through the gestation period, so then she has some days of her pain, a little bit here, there, and there, right? Okay, but when she's ready to give birth, it gets very Lebedik, right? Right? The lady is feeling a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain. So too at the end of the Golus, that's why we're explaining it this way. It's like giving birth. At the end of the Golus, again, you feel the birth pains. Right? The birth pangs, I think they're called pangs, right?
Yeah.
Birth pangs. K'maisha haya b'Mitzrayim, like it was in Mitzrayim. K'maisha kosav ume'oz basi el paroi l'daber b'shmecha hara la'am hazeh. And even Moshe Rabbeinu, right? What happened? Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Paroi, right? He told him to go to Paroi. And then when he went to Paroi, he told Paroi that Hashem wants to take out the Jewish people, and this is because it's the end of time. They're going out. What did Paroi do? He said, guys, you're not getting your straw anymore. We're not giving you the straw. You go out and get your own straw. You hear this? That's the Golus getting stronger, right? That's the Golus. It was the end. It was the end of it was almost at the end then, right? When that happened. It wasn't that much longer, right? When Moshe came to Paroi, then when he came to Paroi, and then right away after that came the Makis, and then right away we came out. But it got very, very difficult. It got very difficult for us. Where even Moshe Rabbeinu said, says, "May Oz Basi El Paroi," from that time when I went to Paroi, and I spoke about your name, Hashem, it became more difficult for the Jewish people. It became bad for them. Even Moshe Rabbeinu was toying with this idea. You understand? K'moshe Kosav, they made the work much more difficult, because now they had to go get their own supplies. They weren't given the supplies. They weren't given the bricks. They had to get their own straw to make the bricks, and then they had to do the same building. And they whipped them and they beat them if they didn't have it. Unbelievable. That's the difficulty of the birth pangs of giving birth. Right? It was very difficult for Paroi. He didn't want to send us out, right? Because Hashem would always harden his heart, right? Right? But then it was only when we had Makas B'chayris, right? It It was only by Makis Bechayris that Pare said, okay, now you have to get out. Remember, we learned a lot about that, right? V'chein kol ha'yisurim v'atzaros shesoiv lem achshav b'seif ha'golos ha'achron. Hazeh. And all the different pains, listen to this, and all the different pains and all the different troubles that we have now at the end of our golos that we're dealing with. Hein bechinis chevle later. This is also compared to the birth pangs of labor. You understand? Unbelievable. To explain it that way, right?
Well, that's why today we have the epidural. Now we have the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin.
Yeah.
The epidural takes the pain away from the pregnancy, and that's what the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin will do for you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but that epidural, I don't know about that. I'll tell you, years ago, I had to have arthroscopic surgery on my knee, and they told me that they can give me an epidural, right? Because they wanted to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. They came with this thing and jabbed it into my back. I think that pain from that lasted for about 6 months.
Oh wow.
So I don't know about these epidurals.
I didn't know about that experience. So
Yeah, I had that experience. I had that.
Those headaches, those terrible headaches.
No, it was my back was hurting.
Your back. They didn't seal it right, and so I get these terrible headaches because it was leaking.
I'm telling you, terrible, right? Terrible. I don't know. And it's such a big news. All right, whatever. That was part of the birth pangs.
Right.
That was part of it. Yeah, chevle leida. Okay, kamaish. Okay, now it says here. Okay, like it says, kamay hara takriv laledes tochil tizak balaha. Right before the lady gives birth, she has the terrible pains, the pains that she's dealing with, right? Those birth pangs that the mother's dealing with. So too, that's where Rav Nosson says the gullus is like a leda. You know, it's like giving birth. It's the same example. Okay, it's an amazing idea. The ikir is gabras hagolis tiskabe achshav chas v'shalom hu amasha baldover miskab meoid al nafshis Yisrael lerachakam may Hashem yisbarach. Hashem tries. The Yetzer Hara is trying so hard to distance us from Hashem. He tries in any way, shape, or form. He got himself a position in every single one of the universities and the campuses all around the world, right? All around the world. And he signed up all of the professors in order to do this because everyone was told today you have to go to college. You have to go to, if you don't go to college, you won't be successful. If you don't go to college, you won't be successful. The biggest nonsense. Mamish, the biggest nonsense. Biggest nonsense.
They sold us.
Huh? I never went to college, thank God. I never went to college. Huh? I barely finished high school, my English, the secular studies. And then Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay, Shazeo Iker Golus Betzoris Hanefesh. That's the main golus, and that's the main tsar that we have when we're distant from Hashem. The other things we have praying, whatever, we have our problems, we have all the different things, but when someone's distant from Hashem, that's the real tsar. That's the real pain. Yeah, but there are physical pain too, of course, and I'm not belittling that at all. Chas v'sholem, people should all have refuahs and yeshuas, of course. But the real pain that hurts the heart the most when someone is distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the most difficult pain. Because yeah, okay. K'mavai b'makei macher ve'ika atzara mashem es gabra baldover lahachnes kefirus v'apikorsis pa'olam chas v'shalom. How the Baldova tries to put in the heresy that there's no God, that it's all nature, it's Mother Nature. These idiots, who's running Mother Nature? Who's running Mother Nature? Okay, it's Mother Nature, fine. Okay, versteht sich. Okay, it's Mother, but who's running it? It runs by itself?
And who can change it?
It's running by itself? Come on. What kind of idiots are these people? They're mamish buffoons. They're buffoons. They don't recognize this. Rabeinu Zal said, and again Rabeinu Zal so spoke about this in Sichas Haran in the 35th talk that Rabbi Nachman give. If you want to see that, that's in his book Wisdom. If you want to see the book Wisdom, it's lesson 35. Okay, Kamaisha Royim Bechush Loya Isa Kazais Mime Oilam Apikorsas Kazais Be Yisrael. Kamay Achsha Baveneseinu Arab. You hear this? Rab Noson's writing this based on what Rabbi Nachman told him that from the beginning of time there wasn't such apikursis, there wasn't such heresy being spewed in the world as it was then. Could you imagine what we would say today? Could you imagine what would be said today? Ay. Sherabu hamispartzim. These are people that are pirates gather. Chazal set us up different boundaries and different things that we shouldn't pass. Right? There are different rules Chazal set us up that we should be spiritually successful. They did that for a reason. All those gedarim that they made, all of those borders, those boundaries, those protections that they set up for us, they did that because they didn't want us to stumble, spiritually stumble. But Rabbi Nachman saying that in those days they were just being pirates. They were knocking down the fences. They were knocking them down. We don't need them. Ba'am l'lamay desnare b'nei Yisrael chachmaiseyam, to teach the youngsters of Klal Yisrael all of their nonsense, all of the worldly nonsense, u'lishaneiseyam, and their language and the way they speak, right? I mean, we experience this today, right now. We're living through a time that I think that really. I mean, such a thing never happened. Maybe they were talking about these things in the time of before the flood, right? These ideas like they're talking about today, what do you call it today? Their movements. I don't think existed before, even during the time of the flood, and maybe even worse, right? Before the flood, all of the different things that we're doing, the animals were doing things wrong, and that's why they had to die, right? Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. We spoke about this in other places. In Hilchas Kaviyas Chayv, right, paying back your debts. Rav Nosson writes about that in Shuli. All right, but we'll see. Okay. The chol is gabrus, all of this strengthening of the Baal Davar, Shem is gaber achshav, zeh bechinas chevlei shel Mashiach. These are the birth pangs of Mashiach. That's all we're dealing with. So don't think, and we said before, Hashem says, I'm not going to put you on the birth stool without you giving birth, right? That means everything that we're dealing with, we have to know and believe that there is an end. No, not only is it an end to it, we're at the end. That's why we're experiencing what we're experiencing. V'chinas chevlei leida, the birth pangs of birth. V'chol koichai nimshach mishorish adin shel b'chinas cholol apani, and that's all coming back from where we learned about the idea of the cholol apani, that void space. When Hashem made that voided space, when He took His presence out, right? Hashem took His presence out of that space. What was the voided space? Hashem removed His presence. He hid Himself in that space. But is Hashem really removed?
Not really. He's
there. He's there, but you have to find Him. So the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin connect back to that Cholol HaPanoi, and to that place where HaKadosh Baruch Hu had in His thought that He wanted to make the world with only din. And Hashem said, I realize that the world's not going to sustain itself if it's only with din. The world can't sustain itself if it's only din. It has to be that Hashem partnered up with it, the attribute of mercy, kindness, right? Hashem partnered it up. And then through that, the world would be able to exist. We need the koyach of the tzaddikim. We need the great tzaddikim. Why we need the great tzaddikim? Because the great tzaddikim know how to go back to that place where it's all of a machshava in Hashem's mind, whatever that means. Where Hashem thought about making the world that way of din. And the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin put us in that place. Rabeinu Tam Tefillin can bring us to that place. Amazing. Today's the Rabeinu Tam's yard side, all right? You can come back to that place. What?
The English, what you're saying, perfect.
Am I translating it okay?
Yeah. Therefore, every person should meticulously put on Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, which are drawn from the intellects of these great tzaddikim, in order to receive from them the power to break the impulse for evil. To go back to that place of the chala apanu and before, and that's where the din is, and you fix the din at that place, at its source. You see, that's what we're learning here, right? In other words, you can when a person has an ailment, right? So you can treat the symptom, or you can go back and treat the whatever the bruise is, whatever the thing is, right? Right? Some people they treat the symptoms. Oh, you have a headache? Okay, now. Oh, why do you have a headache? What's underlying in you? What's the problem? Oh, so we'll take a Tylenol. The headache will go away. What's your body telling you? You understand? Right? So the tefillin are trying to come to connect us back to the root of the din, to the root of the din, and fix it at the root, not at the surface. Din sham b'sharsha. You fix it at its root, at its source. You attack it at its source. Shal yedei zeh nisbatel kol koyach hayetzer hara. Shall call boya yoilam, and if through that you can nullify the whole idea of the Yetzer Hara, of the whole world. Because we said when you put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, you could daven for other people with the tefillin on. You could daven for other people because you're going back to that place, the Cholul Aponi, and you're going back to that place, and then that's where all of those troubles that the people are dealing with, and you can help them and connect back to those places of the source of the problem, and you can try to fix it for them in those places, and especially for ourselves. Nimshach misham. Therefore, everyone has to be meticulous and make sure they put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin. Because they're drawn from the mayach of the tzaddikim, the mind of the tzaddikim. Hagedim, the great ones. In order to accept the koyach from them, in order to get the might, the power that we need. To break the Yetzer Hara. Because the Yetzer Hara right now is very, very, very potent. Shenimsha Misham comes from that very place. You hear this? That's where the Yetzer Hara is coming from. Could Rav Nosson be very? Could he have helped us out to help us understand the importance of these tefillin right now more than this? It's unbelievable, right? It's something so special. Something so special. So now we're going to go back, and Rav Nosson's going to really help us now to understand something with Amalek and with Melech Agag. Remember with Shlomo Melech when he was supposed to kill the king, and he didn't kill the king. Remember, he was supposed to kill all the Amalekim, right?
Yeah.
Shlomo Melech was supposed to, right? He was supposed to. No, Shaul Melech. Shaul Melech was supposed to kill all of the Amalekim. But he left the animals. He said the animals will leave. Shmuel and Navi told him, no, kill out all the animals. Kill everything. Don't let anything be alive. Remember he told him that?
Yeah.
But he had compassion on the animals.
He took a poll.
He had compassion. He didn't listen to the Navi.
No.
He didn't listen to the Navi. And he lost his king. He lost his throne because of that.
Right.
He lost his throne because of that.
You let the king live.
He didn't know he let the king live. He didn't know. The king, with sorcery, Agag with sorcery, turned himself into an animal. He didn't know he let the king. He didn't want to leave the king alive. No, he wasn't going to. But the king, Shmuel Hanavi knew this. Shmuel Hanavi knew that they don't know how to switch themselves into animals. So don't do any favors by keeping the animals alive. Just get rid of anything that's alive. Kill it. Get rid of it. Destroy it. We had the ability, right? Each time, you see all these opportunities, lost opportunities. We had so many lost opportunities. It was so close. So close. So close. But the Nesa Purim came from that. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. If Shaul HaMelech didn't do that, then we wouldn't have Purim.
Yeah, we wouldn't have needed Purim, though.
Who knows?
Without a Melech?
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
And today,
who knows what Hashem? Listen, it's all Hashem's. It's all Hashem's. We know at the end of time, all of the holidays are going to be nullified. We won't need the holidays, except for Purim. Can you believe that?
And when we took over Israel and we had the Dome of the Rock and everything, and the Arabs were leaving.
Yeah, and Begin said, "Here, take the key back."
Begin,
The Mufti,
Dayan.
the Mufti gave him the keys. He gave him the keys. He could have sent the bulldozer in there and knocked the whole thing down right that day. And they could have sent the bulldozer in there and knocked it down. It would have been the end of the game. No. We feel bad for you. No, here, you take the keys back.
He hated Hashem more than he hated the Arabs.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. He hated the religious. He was more afraid of the religious than of Hashem.
Yeah.
Not afraid of Hashem.
But there was another lost opportunity. Look at all these lost opportunities we had.
So there's a reason for it.
Yeah. No, so we have to learn from every one of them. We need to learn from every one of them. So let's learn now. Do we have a little more time?
Yeah. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. You guys can keep going.
Lamed. Okay. All right, so let's start. We'll learn a little bit, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. Ki achshav kishi ha'ilada nimshach bebechinas hamalek. Because right now the difficulty of the birth pangs is coming from Amalek. Amalek is the vehicle that's sending all of these problems. They're involved in this. Tamu b'divrei Rabeinu Zal, as Rabeinu Zal writes in Likutey Maran, lesson 135, okay, on the pasuk in Shmuel, Shasaf Shmuel as Agag, that Shmuel was the one that killed out of the Melech Amalek. Ayin Sham. Shekos Sham Aperish Rashi. Shechosroi la'arba. He cut him into 4 pieces. You hear this? He took the king and he cut the king into 4 pieces. He split him into 4 quarters. He quartered him, right? Vayadei niftach rachma shel hamashke leile, and that was how he was able to open up the womb. That it would be able to have, it would be able to take on the pregnancy. Ayin Sham. Okay.
Is this relating to the tefillin too?
Yeah. This is 4. We're getting there. We're getting there. You're catching on. You're catching on. You see how you do? You see that? Good. Okay. Shubachinis hakfiris v'apikoros. That's the whole idea of the kfira and the apikor. That's the heresy and all of the things of anti-God. Hanimshich min chalapon. That comes from that voided space. Yalke Nikra, therefore, they're called Rashis. Who's called Rashis? Rashis Goyim Amalek. Amalek is called Rashis, the beginning. Rashis, they're the beginning. Why are they called the beginning? Watch this. Rashis Goyim Amalek, Ki Cholol Aponi Koidim Li'olam. Because the Cholol Aponi, this voided space, when Hashem made the voided space, he allowed for creation within the voided space. So the Amalek is from Rashis, they're from the Cholol Apani that preceded creation. You understand? The first stage of creation was making that voided space, making that space, right? The same way when you build a building, right? So you first have to dig out the foundation, right? So that's like the voided space, right? You dig out the foundation, to build it, put it in the foundation. But that's before the building, right? The foundation goes before the building. So the Cholol Apani was before the building of creation. Right?
What is that?
The void space, the voided space.
Yeah.
Chalul means a space, pani, which is free, empty. The empty space.
Okay.
The empty space. Okay? Well, you'll get it. The empty space. The empty space was created before the creation of the world. We agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Amalek is connected to that empty space, the Cholol Apani. He's connected to that. Okay. Because without that space, there will be no place for Hashem to create the world. That again, there could be Bechira, that there could be free choice. Right? Because again, Hashem wanted the world that it shouldn't be like a place where the Malachim see Hashem. Right? We have to choose God here. Right? That's what Hashem wanted. The Malachim, the angels in heaven, they see God and they know the truth. And when you know the truth, you can't do something wrong. You know the truth, you know it's true, that's the truth. Right? But over here, things seem wishy-washy. Right? Things are a little wishy-washy because they're wishy. So then you don't know, you're thinking, what is it? And you still overpower and you choose God. That's the greatest thing. You understand? But Hashem, but without that Cholol Apani, there couldn't be a world of creation the way it is. There could never be the kfira, the heresy in the world. They couldn't say the things that they say today if Hashem didn't make that voided space. Only because Hashem made the voided space, it allows the people to say what they say today. Fascinating, right? But that's what Hashem wanted. But He wants us to go see through it and to realize it's all Him. And if you want to see more about this, you can study about more of this in Likutey Maran. It's lesson 64 in Likutey Maran. Ayin Sham Heitiv, study that lesson good if you want over the weekend. If you have some time over Shabbos, take out lesson 64, read it through. Read through lesson 64, it'll help you understand this a little bit better. Bechinas Cholol Apani, talking about this idea, the Cholol Apani. What's that? The voided space. There we go. Nimshach HaKlipa Koi HaKaidemes Lepri. That's the idea of the klipa, the peel. The peel is formed before the fruit. The fruit forms inside the peel. You know that? Right? Like an orange, right? So the peel will form, and then the orange will develop inside the peel. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's like the caterpillar too.
The caterpillar is different. The caterpillar becomes a different thing.
Well, okay. Right.
Caterpillar is different.
Right, okay, you're right. Okay.
Caterpillar becomes the butterfly.
So, and then
that's another lesson.
And then Amalek was inside the
Amalek is the klipa, is the peel. He's the peel, and then, like we said, the peel comes before the fruit, right? David, you with me here?
Yeah.
The peel becomes before the fruit. That's Amalek. He's the peel. That's why it's called the klipot. We call them the klipot. All the husks of impurity. That's the peels of impurity. That's Amalek. It's all Amalek. You understand how it works? And that's before the creation. That's the Cholol Apani, the voided space. That was the space, was the peel to fit the world in, creation inside of it. The same way the fruit. You like the example? Helps you understand the example? Rav Nosson has a beautiful example he gave us, right? What? Balkei Nikra Amalek Rashis, and therefore they're called Rashis. Now you understand why Amalek is called Rashis.
Sounds like racist, too.
Rashis, beginning. They're the beginning. Machma shekoichai nimshach mecholo apani, because their koyach comes from where?
The vacated space.
The vacated space. There we go. Shehu Rashis kaidem li'olam. That's before the creation of the world. Shemisham bechinas klipa kaidemes lepri. That's the place that the klipa is before the pri. Now let's just do one more line. V'zeh bechinas habechayrim. Now the tefillin have in there, right? What's the first parsha? The parsha of Bechorah. No, the parsha of Pidyon Haben. Right? So the tefillin are against Amalek, right? Amalek is screaming out, I'm the first. I'm the first. Listen to this good. Please, pay attention.
Which has the Pidyon Haben in it?
Listen. Amalek is screaming out, I'm the first. I'm the Bechar. Esav. Who is Amalek? Who was Amalek's grandfather? Esav. Esav comes out first. I'm the Bechar. I'm the Bechar, right? Amalek says, I'm the first. I'm the first. But Hashem says, who's really the first? B'ni b'chayri Yisrael. B'ni, my son, you're the first. Hashem says, B'ni, my son, b'chayri Yisrael. What does that mean? You're the firstborn.
Yaakov.
B'ni, let's do the words again. B'ni, what does B'ni mean? My son. My son. Yeah. B'ni, b'chayri is my firstborn. B'chayri, my firstborn. B'ni, my son. B'chayri is my firstborn. And who is it? Yisrael. Not Amalek. That's what the tefillin say. So you need the tefillin in order to fight against the heresy of Amalek that they're saying they're the first. You follow? Does that make sense? David, right? You got it?
Yeah.
Shu bechinas b'chayri shel Esav. That's the bechar of Esav. Esav says, I'm the bechar. It's me. And then his grandson, Amalek, says, I'm the bechar. I'm the first. Shu Amalek. Hainu, ki nimshach bebechinas klipas hanimshachim michol apanui shekoidem li'olam. Because they are connected to the husk, the peel of the fruit of the cholol aponi, the vacated, voided space. Vacated, voided space. Okay, like that? Vacated, voided space. So that's the peel of all creation. So they say they're connected to that. But where are the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin connected to? The thought of Hashem before He made the vacated space. So who's really the first one?
Yaakov.
You see that? When we wear the tefillin Rabeinu Tam, when you wear the tefillin Rabeinu Tam, you're connecting back to the thought Hashem had to create the world only with the din. Remember? Only with the din. Which was before He made the vacated space. So that's why when you put on those tefillin, it really connects you to a higher realm, a higher place in HaKadosh with Hashem on a special level, because it connects you to the thoughts of HaKadosh Baruch Hu before creation of the world. What's the matter?
The first thought.
Well, I don't know. The further that was the thought of creation of the world. Exactly. You want to say something, David?
No, I was just thinking that whoever writes the cloth for the tefillin for the needs to know this.
Yeah, you need.
So I mean, is this known outside of Breslov? Is this a basic Kabbalah? Is this basic Kabbalah?
Yeah, this is Kabbalah also. Yeah. Rav Nosson just giving it to us nicely. He's preparing it for us nice with these examples of the fruit and the peel to help us understand what is that vacated, voided space. It's the peel. Isn't it so beautiful? Rav Nosson's giving it to us.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
I just want to make sure my sofer has if you go with a Breslov, the chances are he knows this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Al kein ishtadlo Yaakov lokach ha-bechorah. And therefore Yaakov, now you understand why he wanted the bechorah. Yaakov was working, Yaakov says, no, I need this bechorah. You can't have it, Esav. You can't have it. And he made that deal with him, remember?
Esav gave it to him easily.
Yeah, because that was the physical. That was the physical Esav.
Right.
The physical Esav.
Yeah.
Yeah, the angel of Esav was very upset at him that he did that. The physical Esav, he was just involved in raping and killing and all the things he came back from doing, right? He came back ayef. He was very ayef. And it says, what does that mean? Because he was involved in the most, the lewd things possible.
So this is why Rachel wanted to have the blessing from Isaac, because that was the spiritual side of it?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're going to get to that. B'chayim me'esav. Ki be'emes, Hashem yisbarach koydem lakol. Because really Hashem is before all. Amalek is saying they're the first. But really, isn't Hashem before them? Of course, Hashem has created it. He created it. He created it. Again, this is what the heresy of the world says today. It's all about nature. It's all about nature. Idiots! Who created nature? They're such idiots. Who created nature?
They're not idiots.
They're idiots.
They deny God. That's all.
They're idiots.
they're
And then
blind.
because of that, they're idiots.
They're blind to it.
They're idiots. I'm sorry, they're idiots. Koidim lakol, ki hu yizbarach mimale kol almin u'misavev kol almin. Because Hashem is He who fills and surrounds all worlds with His light. V'hu yizbarach ba'atzmai bara es hachol ha'pani. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu Himself, He created this voided space, the vacated space. He created it. So you're going to tell me that no, it's all nature. Who created the possibility for nature?
Is the blind beggar, is this what he's remembering?
Oh,
When he goes back to the beginning of it with Hashem as opposed to the...
He remembered that, yes. Kidei sheyia mokan lebrias olam. So therefore there could be a place for brias olam, for creation. We'll just finish the paragraph. Al Kain Yisrael, and therefore Yisrael. Just 1 second. Al Kain Yisrael, therefore Yisrael. Al Yedei Emunasam. Through us having our Emunah. We have to leave with this. We can't live. Through our Emunah, B'Hashem Yisbarach Shekoidem Lakol. That we believe Hashem is before everything. We can come past, we can see right through all of their false ideas and their false wisdom and their heresy. That's coming from that klipa, that's coming from that voided space. Because we believe even in the voided space, Hashem is found there. Hashem is there. Hashem is there. It's not that He made a voided space and He took Himself out. He's in the voided space. We just have to find Him. Hashem made the game of hide, go, seek. We have to find Him. Kihu Yisbarach Kodem Lakol, because Hashem is before everything. Kemavay B'Torah. Oh, the beautiful lesson, Likutey Moran, lesson 2. David, we learned that lesson. I don't know if you remember. Sha'al Kain Nikroyim Yisrael. That's why we're called Yisrael. B'Shem Ivrim. That's why we're called Ivrim. We're Ivrim, right? We're Ivri. Al Shem Sha'yidei Amunasam B'Lekeya Ivrim. Because we have believed in the God of the Ivrim. What is that? Heim Ivrim Al Kol HaChochmos HaBoyim Michol. We could pass over all of the nonsense that comes out of that Chol HaPani, because we know that Hashem is in the Chol HaPani and we see right through it. Everyone have a wonderful Shabbos. Kol Tuv.